The Webster family make their way back to Coronation Street after their vacation next week, and Kevin Webster is instantly annoyed to see his brother Carl Webster once again working in the garage. Kevin dismissed his untrustworthy sibling last month, fearing that his wife, Abi Webster, was drifting dangerously close to an affair with him. Believing that removing Carl from his job would drive him out of Weatherfield, Kevin's idea collapsed badly as Carl chose to remain, insisting he wanted to support their sister Debbie Webster as she copes with her early-onset dementia, though he later admitted to Abi that his real reason was her. When Abi learned that Kevin had been protecting Carl's crooked business moves and car theft racket in exchange for keeping quiet about Kevin secretly being declared cancer-free while pretending to still be sick to hold on to her, she was left completely shaken. Abi chose to remain with Kevin for the children's well-being, but she couldn't fight her attraction to Carl, and the pair soon became entangled in a fiery secret romance, with Abi quickly falling head over heels for the shady mechanic. Although Carl clearly has feelings for Abi, loyalty isn't exactly his strong suit. For a time, they managed to keep their relationship hidden until a frightening moment when Debbie suddenly collapsed, and the affair was exposed by the ever-cunning Tracy Barlow. Scheming Tracy seized the opportunity, demanding money to stay quiet, sending Abi into a panic. In desperation, she suggested that she and Carl escape to Germany, while Carl stepped up his stolen car racket to try and gather the cash. Abi reluctantly jetted off to Mallorca to join Kevin on a trip she had earlier refused, preferring to spend that time with Carl, while Carl persuaded Tyrone Dobbs to let him pick up extra shifts at the garage. Once Kevin got back, he was furious, ordering Carl to quit the garage and never set foot there again. Now, short of the money needed to silence Tracy, Carl grows frantic and makes a reckless choice, one that threatens devastating consequences for everyone involved. Coronation Street fans say surely deliberate as they spot major change to soap for harrowing scenes. Viewers were left unsettled by some hard-to-watch scenes in the latest visit to Coronation Street, centering on Todd Grimshaw and Theo Silverton. Fans of the ITV soap believe they've noticed an intentional shift in the show's direction after witnessing a deeply distressing moment for Todd Grimshaw. On Monday evening, audiences saw The Undertaker's romance with Theo take a troubling twist in scenes many found uncomfortable. Worry for Todd has been building among viewers as his relationship with the Builder has shown several red flags since it began earlier this year. Their love story kicked off when the pair happened to cross paths on the cobbles, and sparks flew almost instantly. But Todd became unsettled when Theo insisted they keep their passionate fling behind closed doors. Todd was oblivious at first that Theo had a hidden wife, Danielle, and 2 kids, though he was aware Theo was wrestling with the strict beliefs of his family. Eventually, the secret spilled, and since then, Theo has been battling with the fallout from his children's reaction to his new reality. All of this unfolded after Noah Headley's return. The man who once subjected Theo to conversion therapy showed up in Weatherfield, only to complicate things further by starting a romance with Theo's ex-wife and influencing his teenage son, Miles. As a result, Theo found himself dragged into mediation with his former spouse, who arrived with her new partner in tow, a man quick to stir trouble. During the session, Noah mentioned the recent assault, pinning the blame on Theo, even though Corey viewers know it was actually carried out by his new ally, Gary Windass. After the tense meeting with Danielle and Noah, Theo hoped to rely on Todd for support, but The Undertaker had instead sought relief at the Rovers after his own draining day. When Theo phoned and learned Todd was at the pub, he grew frustrated, though he downplayed his desire for him to come home. With Todd reluctant to leave, Theo, having downed drinks on his own, stormed into the bar to track down his partner and grew more irate as he spotted Todd chatting with Billy Mayhew, especially after his attempts to split the former lovers had failed. Slipping out of the pub in anger, Theo left, while Todd eventually returned home, tipsy and clutching a takeaway. Theo lashed out, criticizing his food choices, leaving Todd somewhat puzzled. Finally admitting the root of his anger, Theo raged that he needed Todd after the disastrous mediation, yet Todd had been laughing with Billy instead. When Todd tried to calm him, Theo snapped, shoving his hand away and warning him never to touch his face again. His aggression escalated as he seized Todd's face and forced kebab into his mouth against his will. But what struck Corey fans even more was the contrast in tone, the dark, unsettling scenes standing in stark opposition to the lighter, hopeful moments as Carla Connor once again attempted to propose to Lisa Swain. One viewer, at AGF1052, remarked, "Another deep moment for Corey. The way color has been used in this episode to symbolize two completely opposite storylines is remarkable. The warmth and brightness of 6 Coronation Street versus the cold bleakness of 11 Coronation Street." Coronation Street fans sorry as they're divided over Tony Maudsley's George Shuttleworth update. Viewers have recently watched George find himself single after his partner Eileen Grimshaw abandoned Weatherfield to begin a fresh chapter in Thailand. Fans of Coronation Street appear split following Tony Maudsley's latest update about his on-screen character. Tony, who has portrayed George Shuttleworth since 2020, plays the son of Archie Shuttleworth, the undertaker who previously owned Shuttleworth's independent funeral directors on Tile Street. With Eileen heading overseas after the passing of her sister, Julie Karp, George was left on his own. In Monday's episode, George admitted he hadn't heard a word from Eileen since her departure back in June. However, he was caught off guard when a message suddenly arrived from her reading, "Sorry I've not been in touch. It's been nonstop here. Hope you're all right. Love Eyelash X." Meanwhile, George has been spotted spending time with Christina Boyd, the crafty mother of Daisy Midgley, who herself made a comeback to Weatherfield. Longtime viewers will remember that Christina was previously driven out after she and Daisy tried to con Jenny Connor, only for Jenny to turn the tables and outsmart them both. Jenny suspected Christina had returned for another scheme and refused to accept that her old catfish Dom had really died. Her doubts ended dramatically when she burst into the funeral parlor and opened a coffin, only to discover Dom's body inside. Although Jenny has since apologized, it hasn't stopped George from continuing to see Christina, and on Monday's September 1st episode, the two were shown enjoying each other's company. After the scenes aired, Tony posted a photo of himself and Amy Robbins as George and Christina, writing on Instagram, "Oh, even I like to see George smiling. Maybe he's finally found something to be happy about." Some viewers welcomed the idea of George moving forward from Eileen, while others weren't convinced. One fan, XGeneKellyX, commented, "I loved George and Christina's scenes in tonight's episode. I agree. I enjoy seeing George smile too." Tony has also expressed joy at Amy Robbins reprising her role as Christina. Just last week, he uploaded pictures of the pair in the iconic Rover's return, captioned, "When your mates come back to play. Reunited, George, Christina, Corey's going on here then." Co-star Sue Devaney, who plays Debbie Webster, responded with, "Gorgeous pick," while Natalie Anderson, known as Danielle Silverton in the soap, echoed with, "Oh, gorgeous." Coronation Street continues on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 8 p.m. on ITV1, with episodes available to stream on ITVX and YouTube.